So let me jump right into this with a comparison. I'll start by saying that I do own the MC707 and I also do plan on exploring it more in the future. And the TR-8S in appearance is very similar to the MC707. It's about the same size and weight, it fits into the same case. Shout out to analog cases. But for some reason, it's less clunky in its workflow, in my opinion, of course. And it seems to have caught on as a classic, whereas the MC707 is a bit more in the background for whatever reason. In terms of drums, I really like the samples that are on here. I don't really see myself uploading my own drum samples for the time being because I'm really happy with the classic Roland drum sounds that we all love. Most of us love. To me, melodic and bass samples is a bit of a different story with this thing. As I'm sure you guys know, I have a bunch of other sequencers and groove boxes that I could upload my own samples to. I like to reserve the TR-8S specifically for that Roland drum sound, especially seeing as all the classics, the 606, 707, 808, 909 sounds, they all have ACB, which is analog circuitry behavior. So you have that analog type of control with these knobs. They behave the same way as the OG drum machines. Technically, you could consider these to be samples, but I think I would call it more of like an algorithm. They're actually designed to be inconsistent depending on the rhythms that they're sort of bouncing off of, much like an analog drum machine. In particular, the older analog drum machines like the 808 and the 909, they just sing when they play. Blindfold test comparison between the TR-6S and the OG TR-808 in a previous video. Here it is for you guys, if you'd like to look further into that. And circling back to the MC707, it was kind of disappointing to me that it didn't have ACB. It's kind of a game changer with Roland groove boxes and drum machines, for me at least. That being said though, it's a beast in so many other ways. It's more capable than the TR-8S, just a different thing. And we've already turned this into a comparison video, but that's not what this is. This is a beat from scratch type video and also a first impression of the TR-8S from an experienced synth user in 2022. The TR-8S is, I think it's like 5 years old now, so there's no shortage of what can this machine do type content. It's all covered, it's all on YouTube, at least up until now. I'm sure in the future there's gonna be updates for the TR-8S and also the TR-6S and every other Roland drum machine and groove box. Today's sponsor is DistroKid. If you're looking for a music distributor, go with DistroKid. If you wanna get your music onto Spotify, Apple Music, all the major streaming platforms, it's the best option. They have like a million free promotional tools, one of which is called Hyperfollow, which is essentially a link in bio link that I've been using for the past few months. I was actually paying monthly for this exact same service, so this could be a great way for you to save money. More on that later in this video. Okay, so what the heck is that over to the side there? This is Fairfield Circuitry's Long Life. I've actually come up with a track a few days ago that we could maybe use as an example for this video, Beat from Scratch. So let me show you it. And just to give you an idea of what this pedal is doing, let me boost this gain. If you're listening through headphones, you'll really hear this. I'm boosting the low end. I could choose the frequency that I want to boost. Find that sweet spot. Right? So it's definitely adding some juice there. And then there's just like straight up reverb and delay from this one. Losing a bit of gain. Anyways, this is something we could have fun with maybe at the end of the video. And this will be our example for today. So let's just select a pattern. 10 I think is empty. Yes, so we'll start there. Roland has these suggested channel instruments, which I totally disagree with. So I've just come up with my own: kick, snare, hi-hat 2, clap, perk 2, bass, and then melodic or maybe effects or whatever. Lots of drums, big surprise there. We're gonna start with kick. And all the drums from the last project are saved over, so I guess we could just use those sounds. We might tweak things around a little bit. Let's hear it. Synth kick, let's try some different ones here. Okay, so I probably chose Synth Kick 4 for a reason. I do like that snare. I know I want this to be a varied beat, so maybe like a 4-bar variation. Especially with the snare, I want there to be a lot of ghost notes and movement there. If you guys are familiar with James Brown's music, his drummer Clyde Stubblefield was like the king of ghost notes, so that's sort of the flavor, the funkiness that I'm going for here. Let's start with bar 1. Okay, so that's a good starting point, and then I'll just add the ghost notes in between that. So it's all going to sound like the same volume for now. Right, so these two were my accented ones. So everything else, I'm going to bring the velocity down. So control velocity, we'll bring it to 40. Let's try 40 for all of them. Okay, and then this one, I'm actually going to bring it up to 100, down to 40-ish. It doesn't have to be exact, right? It can be a little bit off to make it sound a bit more human. Bring this up to 100. Let's try that. Right here. Actually, you know what? There we go. Let's copy this variation over. So copy, variation, boop. It should be there. Let's play them together. So right here. Okay, together. Cool. I'm going to copy this again over to C, and then I'm going to copy B over to D. C, I think we're going to keep the same, and D will be like the ending of the phrase variation. Ta-ta. Ta-ta. All together. So now I just have this awesome funky foundation to work with. If I want, I could change maybe the tempo or the shuffle to get a nice feel for this. Reverse shuffle? Weirdness. Okay, we're getting hokey there. I usually like something very subtle, like 57 to 60 maybe. Hi-hat, same thing with some variations starting with bar A. We're going to go with classic style. Okay. I'm really big on variation, as you guys can see. On velocity and variation. That snare might be a little bit loud, so let's bring that down. Instrument, shift, instrument, gain, bring that to... For now, we'll bring it to 1.5. Cool. Hi-hat. Open hi-hat, we're just going to save that for the last variation. Okay, so all together. So now it's a 4-bar thing. Okay, easy enough. Claps 1 bar at a time. We're just going to add an accent to all of the accented snares. So it'll be further accented. Okay, that's variation 1A. Let's get rid of this one here. Maybe. Bring that tempo back down. All of them together. Also, just a review of what each of these instruments are if you're working along with the TR-6S. These are all stock sounds so far. Synth kick 4, analog snare, MG888 hi-hat. What is that, an MG888? I don't know what that is. and then 808 open hi-hat. Clap is 909 hand clap. So that's where we're at. This one here is, I believe, yes, 808 rim shot. This is like a classic for me. It's kind of overused, perhaps. I just love this 808 sound. The rim click in particular. If you want, you could actually perform this in two, which I'll do. Let's try it. I've actually never used this yet. Does this keep track? Oh, it does. It keeps track of the velocity too. Game changer. Okay, so I'll start using this more. That just makes this so much quicker too. Wow, I love that. You know what, actually? We're gonna erase this and just do the whole thing. I'm gonna record through all of these variations. 1, 2, 3. So that automatically just quantizes. There's no micro nudge like maybe on an electron sequencer. It's all on the grid. So whether or not that's a good or a bad thing for you, that's just the way the TR-8S is. All of the Roland sequencers that I own are the same way. There's no like micro nudge, at least not to my knowledge. And for the last one here, this is Perk 2. I believe I have a tom for it. Yes, 606 full tom. And just like that, we have a foundation for these drums. And then there's LFOs, which aren't necessary all the time, but we're gonna add a tuning LFO on the claps. So it's on tune already. Enter, let's see what... Right, so obviously that's way too intense. We're gonna put something quite subtle on the claps, just so you can really hear it. Okay, and then the exact same thing with the hi-hats. LFO, let's make sure that we're on tune. Yes, we are. Hi-hats, maybe even more subtle. You could obviously do that with any of these drums. I like to keep the kick solid. Same with the snare, hi-hat, and clap. It's more of a perk thing for me to have like a wavering LFO. So I think that's a good starting point with drums. We have 4 tracks to add, so let's go to bass next. To be honest, I'm not really crazy about the stock bass tones on the 8S, so I've actually imported one of my own. So let's add some notes here, just starting with the first variation. Let's make this a lower note, tune, enter. Oftentimes I would go with a low boost on bass, but we've already got that going with the long life. So that's variation 1. Same thing with this one. And for variation D, this is where I'm gonna add different bass notes. I might go down a tone. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. So I'm pretty sure -10 is a tone. We're gonna get... Okay, so this is not changing Y. Right, so motion record is not on. So you have to make sure that this is on in order for these step parameters to save. All together. Also important to mention that all of these samples are indeed mono. And we're getting there. This is how to make a banger on the TR-8S. Let's go. And just for the sake of you being able to make this beat for the most part yourself, right? So except for the bass tone, we're gonna stick to stock tones for the melodic part as well. Honestly, not crazy about these melodic tones. I think I just have a straight up sample, like a flute sample. That's what that sounds like. You really have to hit it for a high velocity. Let's change that. So I'm just gonna throw it onto variation once and find an effects or whatever that might work. So that could get annoying if it's on every single beat too. So let's try it maybe on variation 2. So get rid of this one. Combine these. Woo! Right there. Beat 4 all together. Yeah.
Three hours later.
Okay, so I think I came up with something here. Yeah. Okay. Good enough for the purpose of this video. This next one, I'm pretty sure low bell. Okay, so this is like a plucky sound. Literally just hitting random notes for this one, and we're gonna tune them as we go. Okay, so it might be minus 15 for this one. Let's see if this is a tone. Yep. And we're on to our last track. I think on the original I just had vinyl noise. So same thing, I'm just gonna be adding this in randomly. It's the sort of thing that just kind of sounds cool no matter what. You'll see what I mean. So just the drums. It's very low in the mix, so here, I'll bring it up. It's at minus 10. You hear that? Much higher pitched. I like it somewhere in the middle. So the whole thing. Second bar, third bar, 4. And so that covers all of our parts, which is awesome. But there's still these master effects up above here, and we could assign each of these channels to these effects. So just to keep it simple, all of the drums and or percussive parts, so that includes this thing here, right? That's kind of a percussive thing. So that's being added to delay, same with all the drums, kick, snare, hi-hat, perks. Right? Love that. So I have dotted 8s here. I could change the feedback. And then for reverb, I've added it to the So this is done intentionally. I think that the delay works especially well with percussive elements, and reverb works well with melodic, more, legato stuff. And then there's this master effects here, which I could change. At this point, it's set to low pass as well as high pass. Check it out. The only thing is that this one's a bit tricky because it's tough to land flat right at 0. That's tough. I find that to be a bit annoying actually. So let's go Shift, Master Effects, and I'm going to change that to just straight up low pass. So now, right, this is 0, or whatever frequency that is, and that's flat. And off we go. And then just for a second, going back to this effects pedal long life, let's turn it off for a second. about DistroKid and that link and bio link that they offer for free. First off, it's $20 a year to release unlimited music to all major streaming platforms with DistroKid. Great deal. And so if you're on the lookout for a new music distributor, there's a 7% discount linked in the description of this video. It actually helps me out if you use it, so go ahead and do that. So if you're someone who's using a link and bio link and possibly paying monthly for it, like I was just a few months ago, DistroKid offers Hyperfollow, which is essentially the exact same thing for free. And so here's what it looks like. It's super clean. Embed your latest YouTube video, embed your latest single, social links, other important links that you'd like to lead people to. Another great example is if you click on My Music page, that's actually another Hyperfollow landing page. You could claim as many as you want, by the way, for free. And so this way my audience could actually choose to stream my music on platforms that they actually use. This is just one of many reasons to go with DistroKid. So many other free promotional tools that they offer. You know where to go for that discount. Thank you guys so much for watching. There's a Perfect Circuit affiliate link for the TR-8S as well as the Long Life from Fairfield Circuitry. If you end up purchasing your gear using any of the affiliate links in any of my videos, I actually make a small commission from that. So if you like what you see here, that's just a great way of supporting what I do outside of liking, subscribing, sharing this video to people that you think would like it. Make sure to hit up the comments if you have any suggestions, comments, or questions about this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that this video has helped you out with the TR-8S, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Ciao, bye.